Hi, my name is Tony Tracy and I'm the president of the Pitch Factory, and this particular blog is going to answer the question, does everybody who attends a presentation have to speak? This particular question was sent to me by somebody who was questioning whether everyone who was in the pitch team that might service a client needed to speak when they went to present their solution to a client. And I think my immediate response was no, I don't think it's necessary that everybody, in the team, in the client team, needs to present at the client presentation. And I think that's true for a number of reasons. The first one, I think, is that if you have a reasonably large team that will ultimately service the client if you are successful, then having all of them speak beyond introducing themselves and perhaps a word or two about their role in the team would make for a very disjointed presentation. You can imagine if you've got maybe 4 or 5 people sitting on the other side of the table from you, having each of them be involved in presenting in sequence would be very disruptive and probably make the presentation disjointed rather than flowing smoothly. I think the second thing is that given that the amount of time that you probably have to present may be no more than 20 minutes, trying to shoehorn in a lot of people would make a big difference to what you actually say, and in fact may mean that you start talking about some of the technical detail before you need to, or when it isn't really necessary. And I think the other thing is that speaking is about passion, and I think people like to hear their clients, their suppliers talk with passion about something, and it's very difficult to talk passionately when you only have a very short period of time to say something. So I think always round, it's not a good idea to have a mantra that says everybody has to speak. Having said that, though, I think it's really important that everybody there is there for a reason, and it's important that that reason is communicated to the client at the outset. And the most likely reason that you would invite a team member to join you is because you want them to be there to explain what they do, to meet the client, and also to talk about perhaps a couple of key issues that may be relevant in the question and answer part of your presentation. And that said, in a way, the non-speaker has the hardest job, because unlike the person who's driving the presentation, they can't rehearse exactly what to say. They can certainly talk through each of the key points that they're responsible for and be ready to explain in detail what they think or why they're going to work the way that they work. And that absolutely is essential, because of course that's the value that they bring. A team should be configured of the right skills and experience to do the job the client needs, and therefore, talking about your job and what you're going to do, would seem to be relatively straightforward. Of course, the challenge comes because, as an expert, if you like, or somebody focused on one particular aspect, a client may well ask you difficult questions or questions that you simply hadn't anticipated, and therefore, you have to kind of prepare to be able to respond on the hoof, so to speak. So I think that the role of the non-speaker is essential, but it's also so important that that particular person prepares properly and in detail for their participation or likely participation in the meeting. And why that's so important is because if the technical person gets it wrong in a big way, then it's probably going to be the end of the opportunity that you have, because they are ultimately, I suppose, what the client is buying. So does everybody need to go? No. Does everybody who needs to go have to have a big part of the presentation? No, they don't. But it's absolutely okay to have people in the room who are involved or will be involved in servicing the client, provided you explain why they're there and they're ready to answer some of the areas, or questions in some of the areas of maybe technical or support or whatever, so that the client can see in front of them the team of people that they're going to work with if they pick you.